It is election season in the United States of America. Obviously, we have a presidential election November 5th, but we have elections up and down the ballot. And I've often said that people, especially Republicans, tend to not see the importance of our local elections, like our school boards, our water boards, city council. But really, that's where the rubber meets the road. And today, because it is election season, we have Dr. Aakash Ahuja with us this morning. Dr. Aakash, of course, is running for Hart School Board here in Santa Clarita. And Dr. Aakash, why don't you say hello to the folks out there in Trending SCV?
Hey, welcome.
Good morning, everybody, and good morning to you, Jerry and Menji.
Yeah.
Dr. Aakash, that is a big button on that left side of that jacket.
I knew somebody is going to make a comment on that. I would say bigger the commitment, bigger the passion, bigger the button.
Very good.
I love that.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, for the listeners out there, he walked in on his blazer is a humongous button. Like it literally is taking up his entire what is that? Your right shoulder? Left shoulder.
Left
right
shoulder with the giant American flag.
Yes, and it looks like it's almost like that's your handkerchief for your jacket. So that's good. Dr. Aakash, what gave you the desire, the passion, the drive to run for this school board seat?
Jerry, very important question. I genuinely believe that education is one of the pillars for any society or any country to succeed. And Hart School Board caters to all the students in the junior high schools and the high schools. And I believe that every single kid, irrespective of their race, religion, or cultural background, deserve the best possible education, best possible education policies, not only about the academics, but also the tools to become good, moral, solid citizens so that they can achieve their potential best. And that genuinely drives me to run for the Hart School Board because I believe that being a psychiatrist and being a parent of two kids who live in this, who are in Hart School Board District, will definitely make a big difference in a positive way.
You know what? Why don't we actually, what is your background? Tell us a little bit about you. For those that haven't been introduced to you, don't know anything about you, tell us a little bit about your background.
We can spend hours on that, but but in the nutshell, so my name is Dr. Aakash Ahuja. Some people call me Dr. A plus because the name is not very trendy.
It's not trending SEV.
Yes.
All right.
And my name actually means sky in Hindi and Sanskrit. I'm an immigrant, a legal immigrant from India, and I came to United States and made it my home more than 2 decades ago. I live in Santa Clarita with my beautiful wife and two great kids since 2014. And I'm a psychiatrist, a board-certified psychiatrist by profession. I work for the California State Prison, where I, treat the patients and give them medications and try to make sure that they do good. And so that's my day job, and I am running for the Hart School Board, District 1.
I think you probably need to talk to Menji after the show, considering you're a psychiatrist, because Menji has to sit here every day with Joe.
We all need some help.
Or maybe you need to talk to Joe. Dr. Aakash, I know that one of the passions that you are going to bring into this position, should you win in November, is the cell phone conversation. We have just heard in the last couple of weeks that the LAUSD is attempting to implement a ban on cell phones during school hours, and they cite that it would better increase the student's ability to listen, behavior, and so on and so forth. I know that's been a passion for you. Speak to that issue, if you would, Dr. Aakash.
Thank you, Jerry. I'm so glad that LAUSD is finally realizing that that is the right thing to do. About a year or so ago, I started speaking to the Hart School Board in the Hart School Board meetings, which happens every other Wednesdays, and I brought in objective data and my passion to talk about how detrimental it is for our kids to be on social media, to be using TikTok, to be spending a lot of hours not educating themselves, not spending quality time with their families or friends, but getting stuck on their cell phones. I'm so glad that at least the Hart School Board has taken an action finally, and a few months ago they have restricted the cell phone usage, at least in the junior high schools in Santa Clarita. Uh, I I 100% believe that things will get better in terms of our test scores, in terms of the ability of the kids to talk to each other, to be the kids again, as the cell phone usage is restricted. And coming on the board, I really hope on November 5th, I would I would be even further implementing the cell phone restrictions in our high schools.
I know that cell phones are important in our community, obviously for the last decade at least, and beyond, of course, but at least for the last decade. I mean, it has consumed us, our emails, our Zoom meetings, everything, our daily planners, everything is at our fingertips. And I have noticed with our young people that there has been a diminishment of the ability to just have a one-on-one conversation. In fact, the other day I was mentioning in a sermon that I was observing some young people at a table at a restaurant, and there was about four of them, and they were all on their cell phones, but they were texting each other
Yes.
instead of having a verbal discourse. And they were just right there, as close as I am to you right now.
You're right. I think the kids are losing the art of speaking. The kids are losing the art of communicating with each other. That's what made us different from the other animals. The ability to talk, the ability to express our emotions by talking. And I think we are taking a big step back, and we are now using the emojis and we are using the text and not being able to talk. But the good thing is, and look, I try to look at the silver lining in every possible thing if it's there, that the kids' brains are very neuroplastic. What it means is it can change. We are still at that area where if we implement good policies with some good direction, and being a psychiatrist, I can guide our district to do that, these changes can be reversed. We can still have kids who are very well educated as well. They can use the technology to their advantage, but not be a slave of the technology. And that should be our intention. Technology is always good when it's our servant, but when we become their servant, then it's not a good thing for our community or society.
I like that.
That's good.
At home, though, do you implement kind of some of these quote unquote like policies, if you will, where it's like, okay, we're having dinner now, so there are no cell phones at the dinner table. Like, what? How do you kind of implement this in your own family?
Absolutely. There is no point of preaching if you cannot implement those things. And that is the lesson which I take very seriously, my wife takes very seriously, and I really hope that all the parents also take that. We have rules. When we all are sitting in a room together, we do not use cell phone, and that starts from me. That starts with my wife. That when we are having a quality conversation, when we are having a dinner time, whenever we are driving together, we do not use the cell phones. We talk. We talk about each other's day. We talk about how many patients did I see today, or what is there, what is our next plan? Where are we going for a vacation? I check about my kid's algebra, like how is he doing, or the trigonometry. He's way ahead, and other things too. So yes, so we have to implement those rules so that we can be a role model for our kids.
If folks want to help Dr. Akash for the Hart School Board this November, how would they get a hold of you? What's your website?
My website is Dr. A number 4 Hart.com. So DRA number 4 HART.com.
Dr. Akash, thank you so much for joining us today on Trending SCV, and my best to you as you run for the Hart School Board. And we need some good common sense voices on our school board, not only here in Santa Clarita, but across the nation. And we'll welcome you back again, I'm sure several times between now and the time November elections roll in.